does Khamzat want to fight 85? They said he already had his eyes on 205.
Right.
I don't know. It was good
question, because it could have been a factor. The fact that he did try to bulk up. He was thinking that he was going to fight Yuri Prohaska for 205.
Yeah. One thing we know for sure is that the buildup to the rematch would be entirely different.
Oh, my God.
And there would be less emotional expenditure out of Khamzat Chimaev. We don't know what type of factor.
Winner by split decision.
Split decision.
48-47, Strickland.
Yeah. One apiece. Hold on.
48-47 for the winner.
Come on.
Split decision.
Ah! Yeah! He got it! Yeah! He got it! Holy shit! Yeah! What? Whoa! Holy shit!
We made money!
Fuck yeah, oh, did you really? Yeah. Oh, well, congratulations!
Yeah.
Perillo just won $940. Sean Strickland just won the middleweight championship off the world. Wow, what an absolute dogfight.
No one could have predicted such an outcome. After going through 5 rounds of extreme aggression, violence, and action, Sean Strickland stunned everyone when he won by decision against Khamzat Chimaev. The debate is raging, opinions are flying left and right, and everyone is picking sides in what is considered one of the most highly contested bouts in MMA history. Is this the perfect...
He did it! He defeated Khamzat Chimaev when everybody counted him out. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there were a couple of you geniuses out there that were picking Sean Strickland to win the whole time, but in true Strickland fashion, the jabs and the teeps led him to victory over 5 rounds. This was absolute cinema to witness. We're in the best timeline! I could have been sitting here with you guys right now after Khamzat Chimaev laid on Sean Strickland in the grappling for 5 rounds, doing no damage. And I'd have to sit here and call Khamzat Chimaev, I guess he's going to go on and become a GOAT. Now I'm not sure, dude. Sean Strickland put him away by split decision in true Strickland fashion. 3 rounds to 2. I've seen a lot of people out there saying robbery, but let me tell you this. We're going to go through the stats of the fight. I'm going to tell you how I scored it. Strickland won this.
Even the head of the organization, Dana White, seemed shocked at the time spent by Chimaev trading strikes before he opted for his signature grappling. As stated by White himself, Chimaev had always been confident in his striking abilities, but fans had never really seen him put himself up against such tough competition from a striking standpoint for a while now. However, to Dana, it seems that the hard training camp for the weight cut
last round.
Okay. Were you surprised that Khamzat stayed on the feet for so long portions of the fight?
No, what was interesting is, when I first started, the first 2 times I saw him fight on Fight Island, he used to talk about his stand-up and his team all the time. And I was saying, we haven't seen him stand up and really go toe-to-toe with somebody in a while. But I think, I think he had a rough weight.
White, continuing his response, stated that Chimaev might have been depleted after the weight-cutting process, considering certain instances during the bout when his attempts at taking his opponent down seemed to become exhausted. However, in spite of appearing tired, White complimented the strength and resilience shown by Chimaev, adding that he had never thought that a fighter like him would simply give in to the pressure. On the other hand, White lauded the performance of Strickland, saying that his achievements as a middleweight are quite impressive. He emphasized that his unique and unpredictable...
Is that what you attribute? In the second round, right, he went for a couple of takedowns and looked like he just sort of collapsed on himself. Is that what you attribute that to, maybe the weight cut? And were you impressed with the fact he was able to get himself back into the fight after looking so gassed?
Yeah, listen, he's a tough guy. He's you know, he's a fucking savage. So I would expect him not to roll over and quit. And,
Sean Strickland now has wins over Khamzat Chimaev and Israel Adesanya at middleweight, and I think it's kind of wild, right? You look at his style, he's got a quirky style, but he has wins over some of the best in this division's history. Where do you view Sean Strickland at in that division, and how impressed are you that he's been able to beat guys like Khamzat?
Yeah, I mean, you're asking me that because it's incredible. He looks great. He's got an awkward style. He's tough to fight, and another durable, tough guy.
On the other hand, to Michael Bisping, the game changer was the situation where Strickland turned the tables on Khamzat and got him into a position that he despised being in. The back position is very uncomfortable for any wrestler. This is when Bisping felt that Chimaev had no energy left since he had been put in a very difficult position in that round by Strickland. He went further to say that the corner during the interval was one full of chaos with Chimaev exhausted, but his crew trying their best to get some life back into him. He also gave Chimaev credit.
Got a takedown, and then in the scramble, in the scruffle, in the sprawl, he forced Khamzat to his back. And as a wrestler, you never want to accept that position. And I thought, oh my God, this is it. He's done. He's exhausted. He's going to give up. And Sean maintained top position throughout all the second round, landing some shots. And at the end of the second round, he was exhausted. There was a lot of confusion. He was being very erratic in the corner. As I said earlier, Arman Sarukian had to give him a pep talk and just everyone trying to G him up, right? But to be fair to him, he did show up in the third round. He did dig deep. He did find a second win. However, Sean still won the third round, but he did allow himself to get backed up. What Sean should have done, he was going jabs as always, throwing right hands. Khamzat, every time Sean would throw a jab, both arms would come up. I can't do both because I'm holding a camera, but both arms would come up. That reveals the stomach, the belly. It was right there for a jab, right hand to the midsection. Had he have done that, that would have slowed Khamzat.
According to Bisping, Strickland deserved the victory due to his constant speed, high output, and pressure, even after getting grounded multiple times by Chimaev. He also noted how surprising it was to hear from Strickland an apology for his trash talk before the bout, revealing a completely different aspect of the champion after all the drama. Afterward, Bisping complimented Chimaev for his gesture of respect to the champion by helping him put on the belt while still in the cage. Nevertheless, Bisping was able to observe that Chimaev...
Sean landed more. He did get taken down several times, but he did deserve to win that fight. He is the champion of the world. He apologized to anyone that he might have offended leading up to this fight.
Hey, I just want to apologize. I went too fucking hard. I'll admit it. I should be a better fucking example, but I try to sell these fights for you.
Which is a smart move of Sean, and to be fair, you're just saying shit leading into a fight. You're just trying to hype it up and say whatever, and Sean Strickland doesn't care if he offends anybody. There was a nice show of class afterwards as well. Khamzat Chimaev actually went up and wrapped the belt around him. Again, top marks for that. A big show of class, but more importantly, taking it like a man. He took it like a man, he wrapped the belt around Sean's waist, and then he left the octagon. As he was walking through the crowd, he took his gloves off and threw them away. I don't think he took his gloves off because he was retiring. He took his gloves off and
frustrated when he tossed his gloves in the middle of his walkout through the crowd. 6. Whereas Demetrius Johnson confessed that he felt Khamzat did all in his capacity in preparation for the fight, but reiterated that Sean Strickland showed once again why his weird fighting style is so hard to counter. Johnson stated that his fighting style was pretty basic and predictable, consisting of mostly jabs, clean punches, and footwork, but even top fighters have found difficulty in countering.
How hard he was training, you know, I felt like he did everything he could to make sure he was going to win this fight, but Sean Strickland has a way of how he fights with that jab and that cross and circling away. You know, he put, like I said, he gets in a mode where he puts it in drive, and there's no pop, 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 pop. There's no pop. There's no wham. There's just no velocity whatsoever on his combinations. And it's never 1, 2, 3 to the body or 1, 2, 5, 6, 3, 2. It's just jab, jab. It's like jab simulator. Jab, cross, 1, 3, 2, up. It's very, 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 very basic. Nothing special. I mean, he's beaten some of the best strikers in the world. Izzy Adesanya, DDP actually beat him. It's just crazy to me. And then, you know, MMA math does not make sense, right? DDP beats Sean Strickland. Khamzat Chimaev beats DDP, and then Sean Strickland beats.
As pointed out by Johnson, it appears that Khamzat may be pushing himself way too much while preparing in camp. According to Johnson, when a fighter reaches top-notch physical conditioning, forcing him to work on even further improvements may only result in a diminishing effect. For Johnson, what matters is not only the ability of a fighter to possess limitless endurance while working out, but also his ability.
In my personal opinion, I think he trains too hard. I think he trains too hard. There's a point in time where when you're in shape, you can't get any, your cardio threshold only goes so high, right? So when your cardio, if you're already in shape and you're good to go, your cardio is this high, you can't go any further. You can't, it's just physically, it's impossible. Only you're gonna get is diminishing returns, meaning that I need to be able to pop, 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 pop. I feel a takedown, drive, pop, pop, move. I can do all these hard workouts. I have great condition, but can you perform when things are going away, right? Like when you do.
Dricus du Plessis responded with a rather blunt observation regarding the fight in question, noting how it played out precisely as he anticipated it would. Having been in the ring with both competitors in the past, du Plessis emphasized how challenging it can be to put Strickland on the mat because of his balance, toughness, and unorthodox defense tactics. On the other hand, du Plessis also acknowledged how in a purely striking matchup, Strickland's ability to apply continuous pressure and land a significant number of strikes would eventually wear down any opponent. Finally, du Plessis recalled.
So fight went exactly the way I thought it would. Great fight by Strickland. Like I said, it's so hard to keep that man on the ground. He is incredibly tough to hold down, and he made Khamzat tired, and that's exactly what happened. I knew, and like I said, in the stand-up, he just won't be able to hang with him. So congratulations, I guess this makes me world champion again.
Building on the reactions from fighters and analysts, MMA Guru also weighed in after Strickland was officially awarded a split decision win over Khamzat, and he didn't hold back his excitement. He described it as a classic Strickland performance where simple but relentless tools like jabs and taps carried him through 5 grueling rounds. MMA Guru highlighted how many fans had already counted Strickland out before the fight, only for him to flip the script in dramatic fashion. While acknowledging the debate over the scoring, he insisted the result made sense in context, framing it as another unpredictable chapter in MMA.
He did it! He defeated Khamzat Chimaev when everybody counted him out. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there were a couple of you geniuses out there that were picking Sean Strickland to win the whole time, but in true Strickland fashion, the jabs and the teeps led him to victory over 5 rounds. This was absolute cinema to witness. We're in the best timeline! I could have been sitting here with you guys right now after Khamzat Chimaev laid on Sean Strickland in the grappling for 5 rounds, doing no damage. And I'd have to sit here and call Khamzat Chimaev, I guess he's going to go on and become a GOAT. Now I'm not sure, dude. Sean Strickland put him away by split decision in true Strickland fashion. 3 rounds to 2. I've seen a lot of people out there saying robbery, but let me tell you this. We're going to go through the stats of the fight. I'm going to tell you how I scored it. Strickland won this fight off, and let me tell you this. Khamzat Chimaev, I'm actually surprised this guy made it to a decision. No respect. Sorry, no respect. Strickland let him go to a decision. No. On a real, I thought he was going to quit after round 2. He genuinely looked like he quit the fight in round 2 because, dude, 2 of the biggest upsets in UFC history. Oh, yes! Prime Adesanya, Prime Chimaev. God, this is such a good outcome for me. I'm really enjoying life now, dude. The state of my mental health entirely relies on UFC results, and this is one of the good ones. I'm good for